Despite it being the week of FD Orlando, we've got two exciting things going on in this video that have nothing to do with Formula Drift. One of them being some serious updates to the big block build, which I know a lot of you guys have been eagerly awaiting. But another thing that's been going on kind of behind the scenes, if you remember, we refreshed the engine on the four-rotor Supra, and today we're going to test it and see how it feels. Well, let's go do it. If you guys remember, we recently did a refresh on the four-rotor Supra's engine. I haven't tested it since. Freddie gave it a spicy tune while we were away, found some extra little horsepower on the dyno, and it's my turn to go test it and make sure everything's good so he can do his tweaks and we can enjoy the Supra again. So what I want you guys to listen for as you're watching the footage is all of the tip-in, which is like the blips of the throttle, and also partial throttle stuff. So wide open, it's gonna sound good. It was good before, but that's the stuff that we're really trying to refine and dial in that we were having issues with before. Just cruising around and warming it up in the burnout box, we found some cells that need some little dialing in. So what Freddie does is he goes in the ECU, looks at the log, and he can figure out exactly what regions want more fuel, because real world scenarios kind of put it in a different area than the dyno does.
God,
we're out here.
Reflective.
You just stand still and they just touch you and it's like,
It's love bug season out here again. I don't know if you guys can see them around the golf cart.
We got snakes and love bugs and arteries.
Come on, buddy, get out of here.
Mike,
I'm trying to save him.
snake at your house.
I know, I got two of them. I'm just trying to make sure he doesn't get ran over by a four-rotor. Two of them. Mike's National Geographic channel here. This is a black racer. Trying to get him out of here so he doesn't get ran over by the four-rotor. You're all right, buddy. Bop.
So I got a little carried away. It's been a while since I've driven this car. It feels great. It does everything it needs to. It feels like it makes the power. Is there room for refinement in the tip-in? Maybe like an extra 10%, but it's like pretty close to dialed.
Sick.
So secretly, part of the reason why I'm also trying to get this car ready right now, we have a lot of people over for FD Orlando, and I want some of the other FD drivers to drive this car. It's like super special to be able to drive a four-rotor, and for me, it was like a lifelong dream. So if I can let some of these dudes drive the car and make their day, that's hopefully what I want to do. I just want to be a good representation of the four-rotor and not have it run weird.
I don't know yet. It looks good. It looks like how I like it.
You look so triggered in there with the love bugs.
No, he's more triggered with his four-rib belt. I mean, you ain't gonna hit the FedEx truck, so.
I think, I don't know if this video will already be up on the Drift HQ channel, but spoiler alert, Odie was kind enough to let me drive his FD car, and we did a full behind the build over on the Drift HQ channel, so make sure to go check that out. It was a lot of fun. Thank you again for letting me drive your car, and to return the favor, I'm gonna stick Odie in four-rotor Supra. So I think I said it earlier, but my goal is to get that car super dialed this week. That way when we have a lot of the FD drivers over, everyone can get to experience that car. At least for me, like driving a four-rotor was a bucket list thing. And we were just talking about it, like sometimes the most fun of having a cool build is sharing it with other people.
It is, yeah, because you're like, oh, I worked so hard, I thought about this so much. And then someone else may be validating, yeah, it's a good thing you put in that much work into that specific piece, because that's what makes the car what it is.
Especially when you really like to drive something. Like that car is like one of my favorite cars to drive, and I hope that you find the same excitement that I find in it.
Well, from hearing you drive it, like it's already exciting. I want to like feel the vibrations of the harmonics of hearing you rip around it, so very excited about that.
We'll pull it out. We just we put a little shorter gear in it because it was a little long for the compound, but it's like just second gear hero here.
Sick.
Yeah, but it's 9,700 RPM, so second gear is spicy.
I think my helmet shouldn't be silent enough. I have to put earplugs in.
Yeah, right.
So loud.
All right, so second gear is pretty good for everything. You can click third, but like it probably won't like pull through third.
Okay.
The only thing really to know with this thing that's kind of a little quirky is the brakes are garbage.
Okay.
Like, you know when you have a car with stock brakes and you take the booster off and it just feels like the pedals rock hard?
Yeah.
And then if it does stop, it just locks up. So we have a full set of Willwoods for this car, and that's like the next upgrade I'm super stoked for. But right now it's like a weird configuration. So just stop with the throttle, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Sick, dude. This thing sounds insane.
Yeah, I'm stoked to see what you think of it. It's definitely different than probably most cars.
What are some of the what warning things should I look for?
Honestly, the car is like super dialed at this point.
Okay.
I usually like to see oil temp at least above 180.
Okay.
And I usually don't let the oil temp get over like 220, 230.
Okay, 180 to 220.
You could probably do 4 laps before it gets to that point. Like, it actually stays very cool. This is oil cooler. I pretty much just turn that on after it's on.
Cool, and start is bottom left.
Yep.
The most worn out one.
Yeah, there's a lot of starts on this thing. I'll let you get all situated before I blow your eardrums out. Sick to watch from the outside.
Yeah. It's like you take years off your hearing for this, but it's
worth it,
well
though.
worth it.
This thing is so nice. It's like so smooth. The harmonics are smooth. It's like, it reminds me of my demo car without the like vibration and rumbles of a like V8 that's not very pleasant. You know, like my demo car's an NA V8 that's not like crazy. This is dope.
The in the burnout box, like very low throttle percentage, it's hard to get that super smooth.
I can't
there's
drive
so much
it.
Air.
I can't drive it unless I'm just like on it, because
Yeah.
it bucks. Like,
Yeah, so if you're at higher RPM, you have more resolution, but at the low RPM, I think it's like having a huge cam on a motor. It just hates it down low.
and I think you have no front brake. It's all rear brake.
Really?
Yeah, or the bias is super rear.
That would explain why it's hard to stop. Yeah.
Dude, this thing's...
It's pretty intuitive from like a steering side, right?
I don't think I have to use the handbrake in transitions or anything. It's just like, it kind of floats like a well set up car.
Yeah.
Super dope.
I love driving this thing. Feel free to drive it a lot more.
Yeah, if I could do like 2 more laps, I'd be sick.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
I mean, you only got the coolant up to 195, so you're chilling, dog.
This thing's fun, dude.
Yeah.
It feels lightweight, but I know it's not a terribly lightweight car, but it feels very lightweight.
The balance is super good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it actually is, but it feels like it is.
So much fun. I think a lot of the fun comes from the nice sounds it makes, you know? It's just like, it's rewarding to rev it out high.
Yep. Hell yeah.
So
That was
it's
a sick
like
first
an
lap.
A car that feels like it's got like a mini turbo that kicks in when you rev it high.
It's like a 2-stroke.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It smells like a 2-stroke too.
I know.
That's a good.
You hear this guy over here? He goes, as long as nobody goes harder than that.
It might not break, you know?
Yeah, that's how loud you are.
Yeah,
That's how loud you are.
it is pretty loud.
Alright.
It's fun to listen to though.
I think the muffler's blown out again.
Oh, it is. It's definitely blown out. Thoughts very jealous because she hasn't driven it yet.
I was about to ask her, but then I bit my tongue. I'm like, this thing's cool. What do you think of driving it?
Yeah, I wouldn't know because Adam is 10 feet taller than me and I can't reach the pedals or like the wheel in any of his cars. But is it as crazy as it sounds?
No, it's actually, so speaking, I'm too short too. This is what I have to do to drive this car. Put it behind my back. No, it's actually a very like mellow, soothing feeling inside the car.
Okay.
The harmonics are like smooth and it feels good. It feels like riding a dirt bike that's like dialed.
Yeah.
It just like hums. So it's not like, outside it sounds violent. Like,
Yeah.
When you were driving it, it's like,
It sounds like there's so much going on.
yeah, but inside the car, it's like harmony.
Yeah.
It's just like smooth.
Definitely like hearing you drive it, there's definitely room to like clean up some of like the partial throttle stuff. It's just so finicky because with these motors, like you can't trust the wideband. You basically have to like tune to feel because the wideband's constantly like giving you false readings with how it picks up air and unburnt fuel and everything.
Yeah.
So it makes it very tricky to get perfect.
It drives like a really, like my S15 has a really aggressive cam on the
Yeah.
LS, but it planes out. So it has that same but then if you're just like keep rolling into throttle, it
Yeah.
planes out. Whereas this doesn't plane out until you wake it up with the clutch, I feel like.
Yeah.
Did you feel that? Like when you're off throttle,
Dude,
going
I
through
look
the
like-
drop, like can you still feel it actually like surging?
Yeah, but with mid-drift, as soon as you think it's gonna happen, you have to just clutch dump and rev
Yeah.
the piss out of it. Otherwise, that run's wasted. I couldn't drive it like not drifting, just cruising around. It was like,
It's tough.
I know.
yeah.
It's like, this is my attempt to create the most fun drift car. Like, good sounding engine, chassis that's fun, like good on consumables, it doesn't wear through tires a lot.
Yeah.
Easy to run.
How long do these motors run for?
It's hard to say. I mean, like, I don't want to say it's like any other engine, but like, we could have left the other engine in without refreshing and it probably would have been fine for another year or two.
Like rotary guys are like air-cooled Volkswagen guys. Like they tinker with stuff, they take it apart, they put it back. It must be like,
It's very easy. It's like
Easy
a day to like pull that engine apart and refresh it. But I mean, like in New Zealand, there's plenty of people that run 12, 13 years on an engine. The problem with the four-rotor is this would be like the equivalent of like someone took two LS engines and combined them. It's not a factory engine. It's not a factory E-shaft. So there's a lot of things that aren't perfect because it's a custom engine.
right.
So a lot of people put these in show cars or demo cars that they don't run super extensively because it is not like, it's a flawed engine as it sits.
Okay.
But you can make it work.
put that right next
I
so
don't
you
need
only
to
have
see.
front
I
brakes.
don't know, that arm placement looks pretty good.
I don't need to see anything. Watch.
Sick.
Hell yeah.
He figured out the brake problem.
The brake master is plumb reverse. So the front portion of it goes to the rear, and then the rear portion goes to the front.
Interesting.
That's gonna be sick.
I looked at that car. It was not confidence inspiring. You don't need brakes though.
So in the burnout box, you saw what I was doing. I was turning it and dabbing the brake.
Got it.
And I feel like the rear would like lock up faster than the front.
While I was in Colorado at Slush Motorsports Festival, Andy stayed back and got as much done as he could as it related to mounting the engine and some other fab on the car. Got a little montage to show you guys, as well as some explaining on certain decisions we made and why we made them.
All right, so we got the engine in there with the bell housing. Everything fits, and while the engine was in place, we actually unbolted the bell housing and transmission, and we're able to slide it off. So mission accomplished there. We didn't have to cut anything out and replace anything except for the gas pedal mount. So this is your factory gas pedal mount. It has this little tab that goes up, and from beating the crap out of the trans tunnel, this got, mangled. And I wasn't trying to reshape this, so I just ended up getting the gas pedal where the factory location was and then making my own tab. So I did 1/8 inch to triangulate it, and then I had to use 16 gauge, which is what fits inside of here, so it actually locks back into place. And this will slide back into the factory M6 bolt. So we still have drive-by wire. It's right where it needs to be. It just doesn't have this anymore. Mission accomplished.
Pretty cool. Andy got the motor plate done, super dialed, but as a reminder, this is essentially a jig in a way. So we're gonna send this over to Steve Morris. He's gonna scan this, and he's gonna make us a beautiful billet piece that will be stronger, thicker than this, super shiny, and it'll look cool. Now in that, he's also gonna integrate a cover that we can use just to make sure that no debris gets in here, as well as some fittings that way for the water ports in the motor. We've got a nice place to hook lines and stuff up to. He's got an alternator kind of mocked up, that way Steve knows where everything's going to go. Because if you remember, the most important thing was not only getting the engine in place, but trying to figure out where stuff is going to go, because the next big challenge of this build is going to be the headers. Now you guys saw June scanning this car, and I'm excited to announce that the headers for this thing are going to be designed by 841 Headers. And if you've heard what they've been able to create for other V8s like Tommy Lemaire's car, Luke Fink's Corvettes, and a lot of other stuff, their design and their math to get the sound right on the traditional LS engines is killer. So I've never heard a big block with a header designed with the intent of good sound. And mind you, there's power to be made too. It's not just a sound thing. He's got some crazy witchcraft that he's planning to do to this thing. And Canadian Mike, who did all the beautiful fab work on the yellow S15, is going to be flying down using his data, the CAD drawing, and even some 3D printed jigs to create some real wizardry when it comes to the header system on this car. I'm not going to give you all the details of what we're doing, but it's going to sound incredible. And that's going to be the next big phase of what's going on with this, hopefully starting next week. I don't think we talked about what was going on underneath, but Andy made a trans mount, pretty cool. Still uses a rubber isolator because you don't want to hard mount absolutely everything on the car. And this was interesting to me. And what Andy explained is when he worked on the RTR cars, without a brace on the bell housing, having the motor plate in front and having the trans mount created a lot of pressure and stress in the bell housing. And they're actually starting to run into issues where bell housings were cracking. So even though we have an SFI certified QuickTime bell housing, we wanted to play it safe. And Andy built a brace that kind of ties into the bottom here that acts as like, you know,
Popular boy.
I got two phones, so I got the ding dings. It's crazy. So it's like I got a little man just pushing up here, just holding support.
Yeah.
You know, we may need to redo some stuff when it comes to the whole header system and where the collector is going to go. But as of right now, everything's mounted and there's quite a bit of room. It's kind of cool, especially back here. I was looking like, I know that there's supposed to be a gas tank here, jerk, but it feels really empty, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
There's a possibility at some point during this build, I hate having the gas tank back here and we move it forward, but we'll see if we need to do that or not.
Yeah.
Just don't do what you did in Long Beach. We want to do it yet.
Yeah, maybe we don't drive this car at Long Beach. People are asking, what's the purpose of this build? Is it an FD car? I will tell you, we're building it. Every single piece of this car is to the FD rulebook. And my hope is that it's the best thing in the world and that maybe someday I do compete in this car in FD. But I'm not going into it with the intention of like, this is my next FD car. It's more like this is a project to explore the viability of the big block engine and drifting. And if it's the bee's knees, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna drive it. One other thing I didn't touch on as well is this brace that Andy made, essentially to replace the stuff that we cut out. They have these like factory bins here that also act as kind of like a chassis brace in a way. So this is kind of just like resembling a bolt-on brace that you would have on a modern BMW, because we need as much clearance as we can for those headers. Now, unfortunately, these next couple of days is the boring stuff. So Owen's already spent probably 2 days going through every part we have for this car to figure out what's missing, ordering all the vibrant fittings, all the vibrant lines, all the components needed for the brakes, the hubs, the fuel system. A build like this literally takes weeks of just sitting on a computer to conceptualize and understand every single part you need to be able to build a car, especially when you have a quick timeline. Until we get to building the headers, I don't know that there's gonna be any like big monumental progress made with the car, but it's gonna be a lot of preparation so that way when it comes to the fun build part, we'll have everything we need. So our next stop is going to be Formula Drift Orlando. The first practice day is tomorrow. Come by, check us out, see the car, hear it in person. We'll also have the yellow S15 at the LZMFG booth, so make sure to stop by and we'll see you there.
Put that right next to you. You only have front brakes.
I don't know, that arm placement looks pretty good.
I don't need to see anything. Watch.
Hell yeah.